Hello everyone, happy Monday. Today we're going to do things a little bit different here on my channel. Normally we have a panel of teachers and we bring a topic to you live. Well, today we have pre-recorded some of what we want to say about teacher IT issues, how to avoid teacher IT issues, and what is the difference between a teacher IT and a teacher no-show. So stay tuned for all of this information from Teacher Amanda Panda, Teacher Cindy Bennett, Teacher Kelly Tag, Teacher Melissa, and Teacher Paige. All right, I'll be back here with a little bit more information coming soon.
Hello, Amanda Panda teacher. I'm wishing you a very happy holiday with your families. My family is remembering all those that have died in service and thank them for giving their life for our freedom in our country. I want to tell you all about teacher ITs and how I've learned in my experience to keep away from them. I want to reference you to a YouTube video that I have. It is YouTube Amanda Panda Teacher. It's a video that's all about my technology setup and the devices that I use. Here is a new device, actually an old device, that I just added to my classroom because I recently experienced an IT problem that actually led to a teacher no-show. I am a veteran teacher, over 3,500 classes, and you would think that I would know that I should have a backup device. I have a really amazing, awesome, fast processing computer that I have no problems with. I'm pretty techie myself. I've had no issues. But recently a little spill happened and it has been glitchy, and this happened for the first class of the day for me in this month. I wasn't able to enter the classroom. The computer that I was using wasn't allowing me to type with keys to log in. It was a mess, and I did not have my backup device ready. So I actually got a teacher no-show. Let me tell you the difference between a teacher IT and a teacher no-show. I got a teacher no-show because I was not able to enter the class within 3 minutes of the start time of class. That's why having a reliable device and a backup, reliable internet and a backup is so important. I actually had to pay a $10 fee for a teacher no-show, and my participation rate is down, and parents can see that. Luckily, I'm a veteran, so all of my parents are regulars. It was actually one of my regulars that I could not get into the class, so it doesn't affect my bookings. But if you are new and you got a teacher IT or a teacher no-show, these are going to affect you for 30 days, and that participation rate is not going to go up, so it's really important. And then lastly, I can only have 2 of these for my contract over this a year of contract in order to get a raise. I'm one of the veterans, so in the old contract we get raises. I have to meet all the requirements, and one of these is I can't have more than 2 teacher no-shows. I had one in December because I set my alarm for PM instead of AM. Oops! So I've had 2 oops. So now I'm prepared. I have a backup device. This is why it wasn't a teacher IT. Teacher ITs occur in classroom when it's technical issues. There is no pay that you receive, but your participation rate does go down. So my best advice is to always have a backup. I have internet, that is my backup, is a hotspot on my phone, that's my internet backup. I have a backup for my device now. My mom gave me a really old iPad, and thank you to Cindy Bennett's iPad group, VIPKid iPad users. I got it all set up, and so now I can quickly get in and be able to access my class, so I will not get a teacher no-show. That's my best advice. Watch that fun video on my channel to find out the devices I use and how devices are really important. Happy teaching to you, and have a great holiday.
Wow, thank you Amanda Panda Teacher for teaching us the difference between a teacher IT and a teacher no-show. I really didn't know the difference between them. I mean, I thought I did, but I guess I really didn't. So thank you for that explanation. And I too second the iPad as a backup device. With more on that, here is our friend teacher Cindy Bennett.
Hello, my name is Cindy Bennett and I work for VIPKid, and I was asked to share my tips for VIPKid teachers to avoid a teacher IT. And since I am the administrator for the VIPKid iPad users group on Facebook, my all-time recommendation for everyone is to have at least 2 devices to go online with. So if you have a computer, I would recommend that you would have an iPad. If you have a computer and another computer, maybe you should have both accessible just in case one decides to update or something. But I would really recommend, if at all possible, that you could use an iPad as a secondary device. And one of the reasons why the iPad is so great to avoid a teacher IT is because it can go online really quickly. So what you need to do in order to, if you buy yourself an iPad, now some people might say an iPad is a big investment. Well, nowadays the iPads are coming down a little bit more in price because we have, the high-end iPad Pro, and then we have some of the lower-end ones. And on my iPad group, there is a video that we share that will help you to determine which one would be good for you. And, your budget does play a part. For me, I already had an iPad, so that was what I used for my first 1,000 classes, and I never had a teacher IT with it. The iPad, the big thing with the iPad is that you need to make sure that you have the HD app. So once you get yourself an iPad, maybe a family member is getting rid of one or something like that. And but you do need to make sure that you have the ability to use the HD app. You can't just use one of the really old ones. You need to have the right tech equipment, and if you go to the VIPKid iPad users group, you can find out more information about that. And then you need to make sure that you can download the HD app, which has a white corner, and that will be the app that you're going to teach with. Now there is another app in the Apple App Store that is solid orange, and that will be the one that you can use on your phone, and you can also use that one on your iPad, but you cannot teach from it. So you have to have the HD app. The other thing that's really good about the iPad is that you can set it to go on your hotspot. So if you have a phone that has a hotspot, which for me I have a free hotspot already on my phone, and I already have the password all set up in my iPad so that if my internet goes out, I can quickly grab my iPad with a couple pushes of buttons. I can be in my class. So that's important. So having 2 devices, I would recommend a computer and an iPad. If you have 2 iPads even, some people, they might drop an iPad and then you're out. If you only have 1 device, then you're going to be stuck if something happens to that one. So I would recommend 2 devices, 1 computer, 1 iPad, or 2 iPads, or if necessary, 2 computers. And then I would also recommend 2 ways to go online. You have your internet within your home, and then I would recommend a hotspot as well. Some people get the iPad that already has data with it, and that's also available through a lot of different plans, and some people say it's really cheap to just add an iPad to their cell phone plan already. We already have a bunch of people on ours, so I'm not doing that. So 2 ways to go on the internet, 2 ways to go online. And so those are my recommendations to get started and to just have backups and to have plans and think about what you're going to do if certain things happen. And that's what's really great about watching the videos of all the teachers, is so that they can share with you things that could happen. Because if you don't get that class started right away on time, you are going to lose out. So I'm anxious to find out what other people share. I have other ideas that I could share, but I'm sure that other people are going to give more tips in this video. So thank you, Kasie, for allowing me to participate in your video, and I'm really looking forward to finding out what everyone else has to say. Thank you so much, and happy teaching.
So, I'm sure my friend Cindy already told you that the iPad is a great backup to have for your laptop. I just want to tell you how personally this has saved me more than once, many times. So there have been many times when my computer decides to update right when class is about to start. There have been times when there has been a problem with the VIPKid app on the laptop, and for some reason this will work. Number 3 is also that you can get in the classroom faster. When I used to do the substitute teaching the old way, I'd find out I'd get a subclass and I could get into this really fast. You don't have to wait for an app to load or anything like that. There have been times where it was like a simple sound problem, but you don't have time to troubleshoot when you're in the middle of class. Just switch to your iPad. This just happened to me the other day. I needed to go upstairs and get something. I was having a tea party with one of my students. I didn't have enough time to heat up the tea and get back to the classroom in time. I had the iPad, which counts down to when you're supposed to be in the classroom. So when I saw there was only 1 minute left, I just went into the classroom on this and did my normal greeting and everything while I walked from my kitchen back down to my basement to my classroom. And then the first reading that she had switched back to the laptop. I can't even tell you how many times this has saved me. This is probably the reason I got a raise, and probably will be the reason, hopefully, I'll get a raise again. Literally one teacher no-show because you couldn't get into the classroom on time could cost you. If money is an issue, the very first iPad I got was a used iPad off eBay. Just buy a cheap one off eBay just to have as a backup. I got this at a Black Friday sale, which is awesome. And honestly, if I get the raise again this year, this will pay for itself next year because, you know, I avoided getting a teacher IT and a teacher no-show. So I cannot even tell you enough how much the iPad has saved me many times. And I think this is the most important thing you could do to help yourself with IT problems. Get the iPad.
As you can tell, we are all advocates for having backup devices, whether it's an iPad, whether it's another computer in the house somewhere that you can quickly grab. But for more issues that come up with teacher ITs, Teacher Melissa has some great information for you.
Hello, Teacher Melissa here, coming to you to talk to you about backup internet options. So you've heard a little bit about having a backup device. Very important to have that. So I have an iPad. I have the laptop that I used to teach off of exclusively that I kept for backup when I bought my desktop. However, none of those are going to work if my internet isn't working or if my internet goes out. And so you want to have that backup way, that second way to connect to the internet. And one way that you hear a lot about is the hotspot, and so that's using your phone. And so what you'll do is you'll go into settings, you'll choose hotspot here, personal hotspot, click on that, and it will show your hotspot name and then also your password, and then you go to the device that you're trying to connect, go to that Wi-Fi list, choose your device or your carrier, and type in the password. You're back on the internet. It takes less than a minute, but one thing I do want to mention is sometimes, depending on your carrier, depending on your plan, this can be cost prohibitive. For me, it almost doubles the cost of my cell phone plan in a month. And so most of the time I use my husband's phone hotspot if I need it, but I really got tired of having to run and go get his phone or ask him for his phone if something was happening with our internet. And so what I did was buy one of these mobile hotspot devices from Walmart. So this is a straight talk mobile hotspot device. Now there's no contract, there's no renewal, there's no plan. You just buy the device and then you buy the card to add the internet hours back on it. So for about $20, a $20 refill of internet onto this hotspot, I get about 8 hours. So that will usually get me through 3 days. Not that I have ever needed to use backup internet 3 days in a row, but that would get me through 3 days of teaching. So just to give you an idea there what that $20 does. And I keep it here plugged up next to my computer. And so then again, I'm ready. If my internet starts being glitchy or goes out, I can grab this, turn this on. Wi-Fi name is going to show here. Choose it in my Wi-Fi list on my device. Then my password shows that I'm back up on that internet in less than a minute. So that is what I use. And I keep it here. It's plugged into the battery right next to my device. And so if the internet happens to be out because the power is out completely, I can grab this, get it booted up, turn on that battery, get my lights and my device back on, and connect to the internet usually in about 2 to 3 minutes, and that saves me from that teacher IT. So think about it. Make sure you have that hotspot or that second way to connect to the internet. Thanks, guys.
Teacher ITs. One of the best ways to prevent getting a teacher IT is preparedness. Unfortunately, things in life happen, guys, that are out of our control, but to try to avoid teacher ITs as much as possible, it is very good to be prepared ahead of time and think about what kind of things could happen. I am currently traveling. It's summer, so some of you all probably have summer trips, and one of the beautiful things about working for VIPKid is the ability to work remotely. But one of the worst things that can happen to you is if you get where you're staying, like me, I am going to be here for about 2 weeks at a condo, is that I get there and the internet is not the quality that I need to teach for VIPKid. That would not work for me. So one of the things that I do when I am traveling to avoid teacher ITs and when I am booking places to stay is I get them to give me the upload and the download for the particular place that I'm going to stay. So for instance, this is a VRBO. I had the lady that I was renting it from come in, do the test so that I knew that I would be able to teach. So trying to avoid teacher IT sometimes takes a little bit extra time, but it's going to be well worth it in the long run. If you're staying in a hotel and you're making hotel reservations, call ahead. Ask them how strong their internet is and make sure when you check in that they give you a room with one of the strongest internet uploads and downloads so that you don't have any issues. I hope that helps. Happy summer, happy traveling, and happy teaching.
Okay, everyone. Well, it looks like I get to wrap things up with my thoughts on teacher IT issues, or specifically how to avoid teacher IT issues. One of the things I think about is having an Ethernet cable. And I was talking to my husband earlier about explaining how to explain this and why we think it's important. And he told me, think about a Wi-Fi. There's many people, many things broadcasting off Wi-Fi. But if you have one Ethernet cable going from your router or switch, then that is just one person, one direct line. So we have our Ethernet cable hooked into our router. My husband routed it up through the little attic crawl space and back down through a closet into the office here. So it's great. We needed a very long cable. It's called an Ethernet cable, and I will put a link to one at the bottom of this description about below the video. Also, when I think about how to avoid an IT issue, one thing I've learned to do is to go into the classroom, into the VIPKid classroom about 10 minutes early. You used to be able to go in earlier, but now they only allow 10 minutes. Go and check your settings. Is your microphone working? Are the speakers working? And is your camera working? If not, you have 10 minutes to fix those 3 problems there. You can choose a different microphone and things from settings. So, quick little thing to check into beforehand. During the class, you can use your refresh button. A lot of times that will fix some of the problems that are going on in the classroom. If it doesn't and you contact the firemen, I would say probably don't reboot your computer because you will lose quite a bit of the class time rebooting your computer. I mean, sometimes it can take like 5 minutes, especially if you didn't know there was an update, and you can't give them back that much time, especially if you have another class after. You will most certainly get a teacher IT if you try. So I wouldn't suggest rebooting, but again, that's up to you, unless you found something before class and have time. One thing I did do was I noticed I was having a little bit of a problem getting into the classroom, and luckily I was already going in, like I said, early, and I messaged the fireman right away saying, I am rebooting my computer. I will be right there if I'm late. And it seemed to all work out fine. Let's see. Another thing you can do is to go, this is during the class. So as you're talking, you still need to keep teaching while doing this. It's ongoing. You might want to try switching lines first. Right now, I think there's 4, 5, and line 8 has been back. 5 has been working for me most of the time. I have switched to 8 on occasion, but you'll see that in your VIPKid classroom. Another thing you can do is try a different browser or open up a new window and check VIPKid portal. Go to the teacher portal and find out if your internet is good. It'll tell you right there if it's good. Now, if they try to give you a teacher IT and you have checked your internet in the class, screenshot it and send it in with a ticket, or screenshot it and send it to the fireman right away so that they know it's not on your end. I hope that makes sense. There's a video on it, so you might want to check that out. Check that out as well. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming and hanging out with us. Again, I'm sorry we didn't go live. I hope this premiere was successful and you found this video helpful. If you did, please give us a thumbs up, hit the bell so you know when we go live or when I upload another video. Don't forget to subscribe, and we would love to know your comments. What are some of your ways to avoid teacher ITs? What are some experiences that you have had with teacher ITs? Have you ever had them overturned? All right, please let us know in the comment box. Thank you, everybody, again, and I'll see you next week.